Yeah, all right then, Marky. So, if anyone's listening, could you just give me a brief overview of your online journey right from the start, right up to today?
Yeah, I started in '97, so a long time ago. Um, Started trying to sell property online, which was way too early for the market, and it didn't work out. And my mentor at the time said that the only thing making any money was the adult industry online. So after debating for quite a lot, I decided to have a look into it, and I spent about 10 months getting ripped off left, right and centre by people trying to make my way in the adult industry online. And I finally found something that worked, which was essentially like an affiliate system. Um, and it took off from there. So at the time I was kind of sitting in my flat in Leicester, deep in debt, about 10 grand in debt, with a girlfriend that was working who didn't particularly like all the hours I was putting in for getting nothing back.
Yeah.
But it finally kicked in and finally started making money in the September of '97. And it all went from there, and it went very quick. I went from that situation to having over 32,000 sites online in 18 months and making about $2 million a year. And it went well. And so fast forward to about 2 years after, I'm living in the Bahamas, got an office in Florida and a house in Florida and what have you. And I'm ready to take it to the next level. And the next level for me was the company that was in charge of writing my affiliate checks every 2 weeks. They were probably pulling in about $1 million a week at the height. And in my mind, I wanted to take it to $1 million a month. So I started setting up a system ready for video in the industry, and I spent 4 times more money than I anticipated doing. And then it all started going a bit wrong. 3 days after I launched the system in the July of 2001, all kinds of hell broke loose. Basically, the company that I'd been previously working with had known all along what I was doing. Somebody inside my organization was feeding them info. And I started getting a whole bunch of legal problems. They said that I was stealing their intellectual property, which was rubbish, but that's one of the things they came on. And basically then for the next year, I was battling backward and forward, and it wasn't very good at all. And to cut a long story short, between 2001 and 2002, I lost all my money and a little bit more. So I lost $4.5 million in that time. So it's good, very, the highs and lows, even back then. And that money back then was worth considerably more.
Right, yeah.
Obviously now. So then you find yourself in a situation where you really don't know what to do. And to keep loyalty to the people that work with me and my own sense of I want this to work and make it happen meant that I actually spent more money than I'd got. Really, really should have not put absolutely everything into it.
Right, yeah.
So I came back to England and then tried to start again, but it's hard. Ended up going bankrupt in 2004, but still morally owed a lot of money to friends and family. So a real few years of highs and lows online. That's how it all started, and that's where it ended up in 2004. In retrospect,
must have been gut wrenching at that time.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly great.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
So yeah, I mean, I've read your book that you wrote, and so you came back to England then, and you tried growing pot. Is that right? Is it at that point?
Yeah, I mean, desperate men do desperate things, and so I walked out of the bankruptcy courts, in theory, exonerated of debt or whatever you want to call it. But morally, I still owed my biggest creditors were my parents and friends as well. So in my mind, my life couldn't start again until I'd paid those debts back, and nothing I was doing online at the time was working in any way, shape or form. So again, you do desperate things, and I basically started growing pot in a bedroom, and then I went to growing in my garage, and it was about the only thing I was any good at for quite a while. And then I went to growing it in a warehouse, and then 3 weeks before the first grow was due to finish, I got caught. An air conditioning unit got caught fire. Police were called, and I was on bail for 14 months, which, if you've never been in trouble before, that's a bad enough experience in itself, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that all came to a head in October 2007. Went to court expecting to get 2 to 2.5 years, and the judge gave me 4 years.
Right. Yeah.
So I did 2 years inside, which time I lost a lot of weight and read as much as I could, and I was learning the current internet marketing trends whilst I was in there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you. Because did you have any internet connection in there at all? Or?
No, despite what the Daily Mail say, prisoners don't get internet.
Right. Yeah. So you were keeping up with what was happening
but
online.
I was able to have courses and books and DVDs sent in to me. So my prison cell kind of looked like a library, really, to be honest.
Yeah, because so when you were in jail, were you actually planning on what you were going to do when you got out, or?
Yeah, I thought I'd got a massive potential with ClickBank.
Right.
Shortly before I went in, I knew of people making a lot of money on ClickBank, but the reality is the 2 years I was away, the kind of ClickBank boat had sailed, really.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a very different market when I came out.
Right. Yeah.
So I started again the day I got out. I launched my blog, millionairechallenge.tv, at 10:30 the morning I got out, and I basically set myself a task of generating $1 million in the first year, which I didn't do. I generated about a third of $1 million in the first year of getting out again, which is all right. And that all started again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I've watched you online for, like, say, the last year or so, and you're definitely moving really fast from what I can see. Like,
to be honest with you, last year was a bit of a bad year for me mentally and what have you. March last year, February last year was one of the worst months I've had since I started again, and I was due to speak at the Marketing Summit UK in Manchester last year, and I wasn't going to go, but a friend of mine, Brad Goss, persuaded me I should still go, and I went, and I just spoke and basically told some people how some more of the negative sides of internet marketing were, and was very real. But yeah, last year was a difficult year in that I'd lost interest in a lot of the internet marketing stuff because, for many reasons, the real big motivation wasn't there, and that lasted a few months, and then April, May time, things turned around a little bit in my mind, and I really got involved with Bitcoin when Brad Goss, again, a friend of mine, told me about it, called me up one day and told me about it. And from then, that was my interest sparked again in something which I'm now using. I'm now using my internet marketing knowledge for that, really. That's one of the biggest things we're doing. That I've got three major things going on at the moment. I've got a partnership called Wealth Junction, which is putting out very good WordPress software, plugins and what have you, which is going really well. I've got a brand new project launching called Entrepreneur Action. That's going to be, all being well, that's going to be a partnership with Neil Stafford, who's a long-term internet marketer, been in the game 14 years, and that's going to be more helping entrepreneurs get going. And then the third is Banx, which is all of my cryptocurrency and Bitcoin related stuff, which is very exciting. The three things I've got, the WordPress business is a great business because you're building a list and you're building a buyers list, which is one of the great, and the software actually works and it helps people, which is better than a lot of the products sitting out there.
Yeah.
So that everything I'm doing feels congruent with real meaning, and the WordPress stuff is good because it's a real business. It's not just an IM info teaching people how to make money online business. I view it as a real business which you can take into more mainstream. So I've got that going on nicely now, working with 2 other people on that. And Entrepreneur Action is going to, all being well, if plans go right, and we're going to be working with Neil Stafford on that, who's been, as I say, he's very experienced, and that's going to be an online and physical membership to that is going to help entrepreneurs succeed. And then, as I say, the last one is Banx, which has got a whole plethora of different projects under it. Yeah. To me, there's nothing more exciting than Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I am interested in them myself.
I haven't been as excited about it, about anything, since I was sitting in that flat in Leicester, knowing there was a massive potential in the adult industry, but not quite finding it. And we've got a lot going on within it. And I just did my first ever talk in Manchester last weekend about it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interest, but there's also a lot going on as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, just before you carry on about Bitcoins, if someone's listening that doesn't know anything about Bitcoins, could you explain in a nutshell, what a cryptocurrency is and how it works and that?
Yeah, so cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was started in 2009 by an unknown person or group of people. And essentially it's a decentralized currency. So a pound or a dollar is really just a promise to pay something, and it has the value of, say, £5, but it's associated with what that value is to be able to go and purchase something. So Bitcoin was created to be an online virtual currency that does exactly the same thing. And for many years, it was just geeks mining it, producing Bitcoin. But this time last year, it was trading about $20. It went up to about the $90 mark, and then it peaked when everything kicked off in Cyprus in April. It peaked at $260 for a short while.
Yeah.
It's currently trading about $630. It's had its fair share of problems. It did peak in December at $1,250. It's had its fair share of problems with various exchanges going down and what have you, but I've never ever doubted that this is going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to get bigger.
It's a peer-to-peer decentralized currency that you can send direct to people.
Yeah. And what about mining? Because a lot of people don't understand sort of what mining is and how the blocks of coins are released and stuff like that.
It's one of the most complicated things really about it. Essentially, Bitcoin worked on something called proof of work. So high power computers now, it hadn't used to be like that, but now you need high power computers to do it. Every 10 minutes roughly in the world, a block of 25 Bitcoins gets released into the world by the system, by the algorithm and what have you that is Bitcoin automatically. So mining is having computers that essentially solve the complex mathematical equation, and at some point a computer in the world will find that a block in 10 minutes. And essentially mining is about trying to find as many blocks or parts of that block as possible. So each of the computers we've got running is given work to do to solve the equation.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's quite. It does take some getting your head round.
Yeah, I know, because I bought a little USB miner, and I thought I was just literally going to plug it in and switch it on, but it's not that straightforward, is it?
No. I mean, we've got a lot of mining equipment at the moment.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of yours.
It does take a while to get set up properly, but most people involved in crypto and Bitcoin are not mining.
Right. What are they trading? Is it, or
they're buying, trading, and offering other services for it.
Yeah. So your mining rig, how much did that cost you to set that up?
Over £100,000 of equipment sitting there at the moment.
Really? Yeah. And how much, how many bitcoins have you mined with it?
Good question. I don't know actually. When we first started, we were mining 10 a week. We're down to about 3.5 a week at the moment because it gets more and more difficult the more and more people try to do it.
Yeah, right.
But there's a whole new slew of new machines coming through in about May time.
Yeah.
That these machines are about 6 times more powerful than the ones we're running at the moment. So it's a constant catch-up game. I mean, only yesterday. So there's 2 types of mining. Bitcoin runs off one protocol, and then most of the other coins run off another called Script. The other ones are so Litecoin, which is one of the most famous other coins, alternative coins as they call them, runs off a script miner. So our script miners are running at a level of 3 mega hash. Forget what it's called. It's just remember the name, the number. Sorry, and it's just been announced yesterday, which we're trying to get pre-orders in for that. Second quarter, third quarter of the year, that 100 mega hash machines are going to be out.
Right.
So it's a constant catch-up game, really, to keep up with everything, which is obviously what we do best. So anybody that's interested in the mining, we've got mining contracts available, and it's the easiest way. It's a plug and play, essentially. You don't even have to touch it. You just buy a contract, and every Friday you get a payout.
Right, yeah, I was going to ask you about that because, like you say about the equipment getting more advanced and more expensive, if somebody was brand new coming into Bitcoin mining, is that the best thing you would say to do, is to buy a contract?
I would if they were interested in mining. Yeah, it depends. There's different groups of people coming into the market, and it depends, 1, what level of investment they've got, 2, what return they're looking to get over a period of time, and 3, how hands-on they're looking to get,
Yeah.
So it really just depends. But anybody that's interested in the mining, we've got new contracts being put up together now for this new slew of machines coming together. So it's a case of contacting me. And yeah, but there's so many opportunities within it. I mean, anybody listening to this that's running an online business should be accepting Bitcoin as far as I'm concerned. 1, just the publicity it gets you. You put a good press release out saying that your business is accepting Bitcoin. That's going to get you some Google love and interest. And you should anyway. People should. It's very easy to be able to do that. You can go to a company called bitpay.com, bitpay.com, and you can be up and running within 10 minutes and have buttons on your website taking Bitcoin for products and services.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so as well, when you're mining, it's not guaranteed, is it, that you will actually mine coins? Is that right?
No, it's not. But the best way of doing it, you can pull together mining. So we never solo mine anything. We pool mine. So we're mining into pools of other people that are doing the same thing as us. So it's a numbers game. So it's more likely the pool will find a block rather than you just doing it yourself. So based on how much computing power we're bringing to the pool, we get a share of whatever the pool finds. So pool mining is the way to go for anybody interested in mining themselves.
Yeah.
And there's pretty good pools out there set up to do so.
Yeah, which is massive then, I guess, with you all working together. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard that you are actually launching your own currency as well. Do you want to tell me about that?
Yeah, we're launching 2 actually. The first one to be launched is going to be called Banx coin, BANX coin, which is going to be on the same protocol as Bitcoin. There's a lot of miners that are going to have machines that are outdated from a point of view of mining Bitcoin, so we're looking to fill that gap. It's going to have 64 million coins, and it's going to take about 7 years to mine all of them.
Right.
And that's coming out in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We also have another coin called Euro coin coming out, which goes on the other protocol, and that's going to be coming out after Banx coin. But yeah, 2 exciting things there, 2 currencies that we're looking to do a lot of good things with. We think Banx coin will become more of a reserve type currency, and that's what we're aiming for. And then Euro coin will be more of a transactional based currency.
And do you know what's the value of those coins? Do you know what they'll start at, or?
No, I mean essentially once they start getting mined, they'll be worthless. It's only what the market, it's the same with anything. Coins don't start off necessarily with a value. It's all down to how many people use it, start mining it, what have you. So we're hoping for good things with it, and if anybody's interested in getting involved, we've got, again, mining contracts that only last a month to be able to mine in the early stages of those coins, which essentially it's about getting as many coins being mined as you can, and then it's up to us to be able to get them on the exchanges and get the interest and the marketing. It comes back to marketing, to be honest, with your own coin.
Right, yeah. And you can use old mining machines for that as well.
You can use old air mining machines, yeah. So all of the machines we're running at the moment, as I say, May time, June, whatever it will be, they won't be worth mining Bitcoin with anymore.
Right.
But they will be worth mining Banx coin with.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, brilliant. And have you just been made, or have you just been put on the board of WorldCoin as well, is it?
I'm involved in WorldCoin, but I'm not entirely sure how that's all going to pan out, to be honest. But yeah, I am involved in the inner workings of WorldCoin, the new WorldCoin alliance, as it's called.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of WorldCoin. It's had some problems. I'm a big fan from two things. One, I think it's actually a good coin. It's a very brandable coin. But second of all, it works well. And the other big reason I'm interested in, and this goes hand in hand with being a fan of it, is that I'm sitting on a lot myself as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens with WorldCoin. In December it was trading at 95 cents each, and it's way down at the moment. But I've got some hopes with it. I'll just have to see what happens with the development of it. And the development, as far as I'm concerned, needs to get done and get out there quickly.
Yeah.
And the new marketing behind it. But there's some good potential with WorldCoin. There's some good potential with other coins as well. You've seen other coins that are floating around that have gone and done great things. Personally, just coming back to Bitcoin now, it's sitting at the low 600s at the moment, dollars. I'd be very surprised if a solid $1,000 Bitcoin isn't going to be here by the end of the year, and that's being very conservative.
Yeah.
It could be higher. I think there's a lot of potential in it, and being such a new commercial side of these services and industry, there's bound to be problems with individual companies. But I know for a fact that over the next 3 to 6 months, there's going to be some very good, well-backed, well set up systems and services coming out for Bitcoin that in addition to that, you've got, there's some big companies looking at it, and you only got to get one of the big companies taking it on, and that will validate it, and then of course the price will go up.
Yeah. Do you think Bitcoin will always be the coin, the top coin out of them all? Or?
Well, it's always going to be the coin of market. Well, who knows, but it's going to be a reserve currency. It's not going to be a transactional base, go in and pay for a cup of coffee, because at the moment the although it's immediate, it takes the system works by confirming that it's a real transaction, and it takes 6 confirmations to be able to confirm that. And at the moment, I can send Bitcoin, but it can take up to an hour, even a couple of hours to arrive. So it's never good, and also the price. Going in and paying £2.50 for a coffee, I think it's going to be a reserve currency. I've always thought that, kind of within months of it starting, even before the price really went up, but it just substantiated that it will be a reserve currency. So it'll be more like a gold-based currency. People will hold it as investment more.
Right,
and I think other currencies are going. This is why I'm so interested in WorldCoin and Litecoin as well. Because I could send you WorldCoin or Litecoin and you get it within seconds.
Yeah. Is that because the algorithms are easier to work out?
I'm not sure. Obviously, the blockchain, the ledger of transactions is nowhere near as big, but there are, and I'm not technical. I don't exactly know what all goes on behind the scenes. What I do know is this, like I say, when I make payouts on a Friday, people have them within seconds, but they wait for Bitcoin. But ultimately, this is such a new market, really, that in the next few years, who knows where we're going to go.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I totally agree with you there. Like, I think it's only going to get stronger, and it's, probably the way forward with all money, isn't it, eventually, like?
I think so, yeah, I do.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the easiest coin to mine then as well?
Well, that's how long is a piece of string depends. Numbers wise, there's some new coins coming out. You can get thousands of coins very quickly, but it's a case of are they worth them? Are they worth doing? That's a kind of hard question. It depends what you're doing it for.
Right.
We're mining WorldCoin. We're switching a lot to Litecoin at the moment as well, because Litecoin has just had a bit of a spike and it's going on some exchanges. So that's the easiest to mine. Certainly, if you're setting up, cost-wise, mining alternative coins to Bitcoin is a lot cheaper. But things like Litecoin, it's all relative to the amount of coins you get and what have you. We can mine and put a machine on. One machine will mine perhaps 500 WorldCoins a week, but it'll only produce 3 Litecoins. But it's all relative to the price.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
is Brad still mining or?
not
I
actively.
watched your YouTube video of Brad had one set up, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got one set up, but he's not really doing a great deal at the moment. He's waiting. I told him he's got to start mining Banx coin as soon as it launches. That's what he's going to be doing.
So just one last thing, about you setting up your new currency and stuff. What did that actually involve? I mean, is that a massive thing to do, or do you need a lot of money to?
Not for me, because I've got a really high-tech developer, one of the best in the business in the crypto world, doing them for me. He's developing. We've come up with some specs as to what we want, all technical specs, and he's doing it. So, yeah. It has been thinking what we want the coin to achieve, and fortunately, like I say, I've got a developer on it that knows the cryptocurrency world inside out and has created coins previously for people.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, so if anybody wants to get in touch with you or find out about your new coins...
Best way of getting in touch is via Twitter. My main Twitter account is twitter.com/Mark Lyford, MarkLyford. Or if you want to specifically get in touch with regards to Bitcoin, you can get in touch at Bitbanx, twitter.com/Bitbanx, BITBANX, or email me mark@bitbanx.com.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, thanks then, Marky.
No worries, man. Nice to speak to you.
Yeah, all right.
Bye.
Yeah, Marky?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cut it off there. But yeah, thanks for that. That's brilliant, man.